Yay!
Woohoo! Okay, hello and welcome to Talk Chef. I'm one of your hosts, Reka.
I'm your other host, Jordan.
And we have a really special guest today, the very hilarious, very funny Alise Morales.
Oh, I'm so excited.
We're so excited. Alise is extremely funny. She has a really great podcast called The Roast of Your Teenage Self. You should all give it a listen.
Reka's been on it. She roasted her teenage self.
I was wearing this sweater and I was like, wow, Alise is going to think I have no.
So embarrassing, Reka.
So embarrassing.
Yeah, see, I'm just always wearing the same pants. So nobody has any idea. I do my little self tapes. I've got little shorts on. They have no idea. Secret shorts.
Terrific. Well, as you guys know, this is a live stream about Top Chef that is also for charity. We raise money for a food-based charity, and this season is no different, and we are raising money for the Hollywood Food Coalition.
Well, just a reminder, this season is a little different.
Okay, I am sorry. This season is different. We used to do a different charity every week, and now we're doing a different charity for the season so that we can really give a donation.
Thank you.
So
I don't want anyone to be confused.
It is fucked up, but I did lie to you guys.
Reka said I'm gonna lie in the episode, and I said, Reka, don't do it. I said, don't do it.
I said, Jordan, let me fucking lie in the episode. Let me fucking lie.
And she did.
I two truths and a lie every podcast that I'm on. I hide one lie. So
yeah,
who knows what I'm gonna say?
And that sucks because you host a news podcast too. So that's
it's actually really fucked up what I've been doing, and it has contributed to some of what we're seeing today.
Wow.
Also, if you weren't here last week and you don't know Hollywood Food Coalition, they are an organization in Los Angeles that helps people who are food insecure get really nice meals every day. And Jordan and I are volunteers there, and it's a really awesome organization. So we'd love to help them out.
Yeah, last week we raised I think almost $200 just in one episode.
Okay.
So
that's beautiful.
So I feel like we could raise $500 by the end of the season.
Okay, let's do it. I say let's do it.
I don't know. It's just a
great.
thought.
So that's our first order of business. Yeah, this is just a little thought I had. That's first order of business. Second order of business is something we didn't tell you about, Alise, which is that just like every episode of Top Chef, every episode of Talk Chef has a quick fire.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And this quick fire, it's not trivia or anything. It's personal preference questions. There are 10 of them, and it is the fastest quick fire in Top Chef history.
Okay.
It is 45 seconds long.
Okay.
And the prizes at stake are kind of a big deal. The first prize is you would win a deed to the Terlato wine vineyard.
Okay.
Now, this is a wine this is a wine that we've only ever heard of on Top Chef. We've heard from people on the show. It doesn't taste good. The smallest bottle is 8,000 gallons.
Yeah, we tried to purchase it. It cannot be purchased.
No, you can't buy it. So you'll win a deed to that vineyard, which is actually located under the earth. Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna ask.
The second thing you will win is a beautiful suite of broken Kenmore appliances, just like the chefs on Top Chef use. A fryer that doesn't heat up to temperature, an oven that's constantly turning off. Those things could be yours.
That sounds incredible.
So with that, it really is. So without further ado, from the moment Jordan finishes the first question, I'm going to start your 45-second timer.
Okay.
Ready?
Is Miami a food city?
No.
What is your favorite thing to eat in South Florida?
A Cuban sandwich.
Buffet style appetizers or past hors d'oeuvres?
Past hors d'oeuvres.
Fruit gazpacho?
No.
What would you make with room temperature oysters?
A Salad.
What would you rather have, surf or turf?
Turf.
If you had to get a tattoo of a motivational phrase, what would it be?
Just do it.
Best surf you've ever had?
I had a really good lobster at my friend Andrew's wedding.
Worst turf you've ever had?
Like high school hamburger meat.
Are Jordan and Reka hot?
Yeah.
Okay, you pretty much did it. We got it right.
I honestly felt so calm during that. You
look really calm.
Something
really,
overcame me.
I will say, Alise, if we wanted to like dox you, there is a moment where you just say turf straight into camera. And
you just push that up against all of my like past Harry Potter posts, and they're like, Alise supports what Joanne is up to.
Is her name Joanne?
Mm-hmm.
What's the K?
Kidding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man. Wow. That is really wild. I've never even, sorry, I know this podcast is not about Harry Potter, but I've never even thought about the fact that that person has a name that's not JK.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She does.
Wow.
Has some pretty messed up beliefs.
You guys don't know, Alise is like a Harry Potter expert, which is why it would be incriminating for someone to have a video of her just saying turf sort of dead to camera.
Yeah.
And that's why I did
also,
No, you go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Sorry. I think I'm on a little bit of a delay.
I was going to say also one of our viewers said, wasn't this season sponsored by GE instead of Kenmore? And that might be true. So Alise, you might get the last of the Kenmore prize. We might have to start asking GE.
They might not be sending us more stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm happy for any free items.
Absolutely. That's beautiful.
Yes, totally. And also a belated apology. There's going to be some lag and stupid shit in this episode just because some technical difficulties. So I'm sorry. And you could do like a little sip of something naughty every time it happens. Just to make it a little
eggnog. A little eggnog.
Yeah, eggnog. A little bit of eggnog every time. Every single time.
Love that. Now, Alise, I know that like me, you also grew up in South Florida.
No.
You have family in South Florida?
I do. My family, I am Cuban, and so much of my family is in Miami.
Okay, I was about to say, because we have talked about this before. So
yes,
I was like,
we've talked about Florida. No,
okay.
My people are from there.
Got it. So
but
family in Florida.
I grew up in Virginia.
Okay. But you spent time in South Florida.
I've spent much time in Miami, but never in a fun way, always in like a seeing very old Cuban people way.
Okay. I think I thought you were also from there.
No, just the familia. Though my parents did just get a house in Key Largo, and that's where they've decided to retire. So they've made that choice.
Wow. And how do you feel about that?
I think it's going to be really nice to have a house to go to in Key Largo.
Absolutely.
So on that front, I'm thrilled.
That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I will say on this episode, which, for people just tuning into this season of Top Chef and Talk Chef, season 3 takes place in Miami, which is why we were talking about South Florida.
Yes, and they're in Gianni Versace's mansion.
Yes, okay, so if I was on season 2 and I was looking at season 3, in season 2, they literally are like using kitchenettes the size of my fucking laptop. And they're like, oh, it smells like ass in here because all the guys left their gym socks in the oven. Like, it's like a really nasty accommodation. And then this is season 3. I was like,
I have a whole new kitchen.
It was, I mean, I'm not surprised that Gianni Versace's mansion is extremely beautiful, but my fiance and I were watching and we were like, isn't that where he was killed?
Yes, absolutely.
He was murdered, like right in, like they keep coming through the gate, and I'm like, I think that's where that guy killed him.
Right on the steps is where he was murdered.
Sometimes film productions, like Top Chef Colorado, you get like a little bit of a stipend from the city for like helping to promote their local stuff. So maybe the reason this was nicer is like the Versace mansion's like, hey, he died here, but we can cut you a really nice deal if you film here. And Top Chef said yes.
Yeah.
It's also so funny to think that the Versace estate is like, oh, boys, we're not doing good. We gotta figure something out. How do we get people more interested? How do we get the everyday man interested in Versace?
I guess it's like, on the one hand, we have this mansion. Huge positive. Unfortunately, it was the site of a very famous murder. And it very famously happened here. So I feel like maybe, it's like they can't tear it down because it is a gorgeous mansion.
Yeah. But
and I think
it's got a little murder stipend, a little murder discount.
Yeah. Interesting.
Huh. Okay.
Well, the space is beautiful. It felt really weird to me. I haven't been back to, so I lived in South Florida in like various parts from like Miami to Boca to Fort Lauderdale from when I was like 6 or 7 until I was 16.
My godparents are in Boca.
There we go. Of course, everyone. I feel like
everyone's godparents are in Boca.
Truly. But so this felt weirdly nostalgic for me because I've been back twice since I moved, both times for funerals. So they have not been like fun really. And it was weird. My dad used to work at that airport. So I like grew up going to that airport a lot. So I was like, wow.
Like Miami-Dade?
The Miami airport. Yeah, the Miami International Airport.
That's the most chaotic airport. That airport is chaos.
Hell on earth. It is a terrible place. It's not good, but it was weird. And just like them on the beach and stuff, I was like, I spent so much time here and then have not been back. It felt weird. It gave me weird feels. I know this isn't a feelings podcast, but
yeah, I see. It's always interesting because for me, Miami is such a like family place, but that's like not actually that's not what Miami is to most people. It's like a party place, but for me, it's like, that's where the grandparents are.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's where I pay homage to my Tio.
Oh.
Wow. Well, I love it. I'm excited for this season. The season has some big heavy hitters that we see a lot later. We got Casey, who, as my roommate loves to say, there's not a season of Top Chef that Casey is not in. She's always there.
Casey, spoiler alert, Casey is in, I think she's only in 3 seasons of Top Chef, maybe 4. And
maybe 4.
And that's still a lot of seasons. There's only been 17 seasons.
Is that common? So I'm like a Top Chef newbie. This was my first episode of Top Chef ever that I watched for this. Yeah. So is it common for people? Is it like The Bachelor? Like people swing in a lot or what?
It depends. There are people who return. It's usually like in an all-star season or something. Okay. And then occasionally there will just be a season where it's like one random person that you've seen before.
Yeah, or people will come back to judge, but normally you only come back as a contestant. Normally most people don't come back at all as a contestant, and if you do, you come back maybe once. And the only people I can think of that come back more than once are Casey and Leanne Wong, I believe.
Casey, Leanne. Yeah, you that might be it. Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's it.
Casey just comes back over and over again, and then who else is in the season? Brian Malarkey, we see him a lot.
Yep.
And I was telling Reka, this season has my least favorite Top Chef contestant of all time.
And I guess who? Can you guess from just who you saw in this episode who Jordan doesn't like?
Okay. Hold on. I pulled up a thing that has all the contestants because perfect. I can never remember anyone's names. Okay. I am going to guess. See, I never remember anyone's name to like. Okay.
I think it's hard in this episode because there's so many people.
Yeah, I feel like everyone who I met that I knew that I like that they made an impression on me. I liked them.
Yes.
In this episode.
I will say I did not know that. I still don't know the name of this person. Oh, now I do. Yes, I just looked up. but it is the guy that was like, I'm from fucking New York.
But there were two guys. There were two. And I feel like they both looked at each other and they were both wearing like New York Giants gear and they were like, shit, goddamn. One of us is gonna go.
One of us will make
funny. It is very funny because this is a spoiler, but there is later in the season a rivalry between the two of them.
Yes.
Which I think is funny. But there's Howie and then Rachel. What's the other guy's name?
Joey.
Okay. I'm like, his name isn't Joey, right? Like every time I'm like, that's not his name. It is.
Yeah, Joey Pastrami.
He is such a cartoonish person, and I hate him. Howie, I'm like, whatever. But
I'm gonna guess that the person that you don't like is Brian.
No, it was Joey. I totally
Joey.
I wasn't sure if that was.
Yes, it's Joey. I can't stand him. He is so gross. And at one point, like, one woman is being like nice and kind of motivational to another man in the grocery store, and he's like, yo, you know, Clay's a grown man and she doesn't need to be telling him what to do, and if he fucking talked to me like that, I'd punch her in the fucking face. I'm like, you need to take a breath.
It was such a neutral interaction. It was Micah, and Micah was telling Clay like, oh, here's the like celery or whatever he was looking for. And she's like, oh, thanks. It's like, if someone ever did that to me.
It's also like, he's not as good of a New York guy as Howie. Howie is clearly the superior New York guy. So what purpose is Joey serving?
Wise? Yeah.
No clue. I think that like the energy that I get is like that Howie is from like Queens or Brooklyn, and Joey is from like far out Staten Island.
Yes.
I'm absolutely getting huge Staten energy off of Joey for sure.
Absolutely.
Howie also in the okay. I was looking at a picture of Howie and he was wearing sunglasses. He's wearing sunglasses on his head, but it made him look like he had like a little barber's haircut. That's neither here nor there, but
no, he has no haircut at all.
He has no haircut at all, but with sunglasses on his head, it looks really funny.
It looks like a little haircut. Beautiful. Okay. So this quickfire. Now, if we were to flash forward to Talk Chef episode 1, there's a little moment where I confuse what episode we watched because I was watching 2,000 episodes of Top Chef a day. And this is the episode I watched. So you might remember.
Yeah, for anyone who's been here since the beginning.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this. They arrived at the hotel and they had to make amuse-bouches out of all the buffet food. That's this quickfire. So, okay. So this quickfire is making amuse-bouche out of leftovers from a buffet table. And you don't have any of your knives or your usual gear. First of all, what did we think of this quickfire?
I think it was hard to watch this in COVID times. I was having a hard time watching people at a buffet, I was just having trouble with all of it.
I think this was a hard food show moment too, because everything looked disgusting on its own before they did anything to it.
Every single shrimp like actually hurt my stomach. Like I would look at their weird shrimp.
And I would see the sauces scattered on the tablecloth. Like it was just.
And then sweet Trey poured champagne on an oyster.
It was unhinged. And I think it's a stupid challenge because I'm like, what is the point of this? You really can only judge it based on the conceptual idea behind it. Because once again, if that food really has been out for a while, like the oysters aren't cold anymore. They didn't cook any of the proteins, so they can't control that. So you really just have to be like, oh, does this item conceptually stimulate me? I think that's stupid.
This challenge would have been better if they just got their knives. I think to add that you have to use like plastic knives that can't do shit just makes everything like the dish they shit on the most, like Clay's gazpacho. I'm like, what the fuck are you supposed to make? Like,
right. And they're like, well, his he has a whole apple. And I'm like, well, yeah, he had to use the apple to he could, what I mean, I guess everyone else managed to do it. So like, whatever. Clay was also kind of didn't know what an amusement was.
Yes, he did.
He definitely didn't know.
Yes.
But I think that this is very much like, you have someone like Hung, who I think is good at being like making all their dishes sound very like soigné, and being like, oh, this is an egged rice with slivers of blah, blah, whatever, which I just don't think everybody at this point in the show has that skill set to finesse the language around their dish.
Apple soup. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like Clay's just like, I made you chunky juice, and then that's
juice in a cup. You could eat the cup.
Yeah.
Well, the woman who won was like, this is Italian sushi revisited. And
I was like revisited.
I was like, all right. I mean, she won based on that.
Yeah.
Just because she had an idea.
Yes. Yeah. So actually, let's hop through all of these dishes, which in true early Top Chef forum, they didn't even focus on a lot of these dishes at all. But we usually just run through all the dishes that we've seen and do a quick thumbs up, thumbs down. Mm-hmm. The criteria is very loose. It's like, do you think this sounds good? Is it a Top Chef dish? Would you eat this? Whatever you feel.
Okay.
So Sandy made some sort of oyster. We didn't get a close up. CJ made some sort of scallop. Howie made poached shrimp with heirloom tomatoes and champagne basil vinaigrette.
I guess this sounds good.
Yeah. I mean, if we're ignoring temperature and that shrimp has been out for at least 1 hour.
Yeah. I don't want to eat that shrimp, but potentially a shrimp prepared in that way, I would eat.
The platonic ideal of that shrimp, sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Micah does Tuscan sushi revisited, which is Italian ham with figs and balsamic dressing, and it's like wrapped like a sushi roll. I say good.
Yeah.
Casey does something salmon roll. Joey does something. Dale does beef tenderloin wrapped with a little bit of blue cheese, radish, sea salt, and it's on a rosemary utensil or like sprig. I thought this sounded good.
Yeah, I
was gonna say, I thought the rosemary looked great.
Me too.
Yeah, rosemary is one of my favorites. I guess it did seem like he put there was a lot of cheese stuffed in there, maybe.
Yeah, that's what Tom said. Yeah, I would forgive that.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know. It sounds pretty tasty, and like,
Of the items,
I feel like sometimes professional chefs are a little bit too like, I don't know, sometimes they can be little bitches. I feel that way about like Scott Conan on Chopped. Like if someone puts any raw red onion in something, Scott Conan's like, I don't like raw red onion. My palate is blown out. I'm like, you're an adult. Like, calm down. Like, I'm sorry that you don't like raw red onion. I eat a raw red onion like an apple.
Yeah. So like, first of all, get with raw red onion because it's good.
Like, do you not eat like nachos and taco and like things that whatever
have onion in it?
Yeah. Okay. So then Clay makes the fruit gazpacho served in an apple. I would try it. It's not my fave. No.
Fruit gazpacho is just not like really something that I'm ever looking to eat.
Yeah, I got
that. I'm not that into fruit. So.
That too, in later seasons of Top Chef, they say this too, whenever someone's trying to make a gazpacho, like that better be ice cold. That was definitely not ice cold.
Oh no. That's like a juice that's been in the back of your car. Yeah. So nasty.
Wait for your kid to get out of soccer practice.
Yeah. They like threw it underneath the driver's seat.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah made oyster with pineapple mignonette and smoked salmon. That sounded good.
That actually did sound good, and I love smoked salmon. So
yeah.
Salmon and an oyster together.
You think
I don't like that. I don't think I like that.
Okay, I don't like it either, so I voted up.
Okay.
I fuck with it.
Too much smoke for you, Jordan?
I don't know. Just something about like, for me, an oyster is all about being just like a raw oyster is like the clean like ocean flavor of it. So then to put another piece of like, I know it's not technically raw because it's smoked, but like essentially raw fish on top of that, that's like texturally just a little bit different, but still kind of similar. I don't know. It just weirds me out for some reason. We found my weird food thing, I guess.
Your weird food thing. Okay, so Malarkey made something. Hung made hamachi with creamy egg rice, grapes, chili, olives, and a pesto vinaigrette. Yeah?
Yeah.
You have me at creamy egg rice.
Yeah, I was like, the egg rice sounds genuinely good.
Yeah. Sarah, we don't find out. Trey makes hamachi with avocado, strawberries, champagne served in an oyster shell.
No.
The strawberries weirdly were the thing where I was like, huh?
This dish was confused, and pouring champagne on an oyster is so crazy to me.
Is that common? I've never had an oyster. Do people do that?
No. I've never heard of that.
Okay.
I'm going to say no. I've
never
heard of that. Is this? Sorry, Alise, you go ahead.
Well, when I just like, I like oysters a lot, and when I imagine tasting that in my mouth, it's confusing.
Yeah.
Like, it just sounds weird. And is this the same thing? Is this oyster with hamachi?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
What is the two fish? I don't understand this phenomenon. I'm like, just do one.
Surf and
it
surf.
Feels like not knowing what to garnish your thing with. So you're like, I will garnish with more fish.
Well, because it's just like truly like you're looking at a buffet table and you're like, what is here? And honestly, it seems like fish and fruit are the two things at that table.
Yeah.
Judging by what everybody made.
It's really, they really chose a lot of fish for a challenge where food was going to be left out for some time.
The only vegetarian dish here is clay.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's unhinged.
Okay, so that's the one I'm eating. I'm having the warm, juicy juice in the back of the car.
Yeah. And a hollowed out apple.
And a hollowed out apple with chunks. So on the bottom is Dale, Clay, and Trey. And on the top is Micah, Sarah, and Hung. And then the winner was Micah with the Italian sushi revisited.
I think this challenge pack, I'm sorry. I just think it was stupid. They're not even cooking at all.
Yeah, I think it's sort of like I just think you can't have them not cook.
Yeah, it wasn't interesting really to watch them all just put stuff on an oyster.
It was disgusting, actually. And I think I haven't seen them do this challenge again. They've done things like it, but you oh, you're on a ferry and you have to cook with whatever fucking horse shit is on here.
Yeah.
But you get all your utensils and your cookware and stuff.
Yeah. And they still cooked some stuff that I think they felt much more legitimate.
Yes. Okay. So now their elimination challenge comes up, which is to create a surf and turf entree using some interesting proteins. So here's a question for y'all. What protein here would you be like, no way to? If you remember them, they're like kangaroo. Black chicken.
Just because it's so, like, Hung says this, but like he's like, we just use it to make stock, and I don't know that much about black chicken, but from what I understand of it, it's very tough. And I think in such a limited time challenge, having to deal with something like that when other people have like venison or something that you just have to like sear, I think that could maybe be really hard.
Yeah.
So are we saying no as in what you would not work with or what you wouldn't eat personally?
Oh, either. Honestly.
I would eat all of it. I'm like a food trier. Yeah. So I'm like, nothing will get me more furious than an episode of 90 Day Fiance where they won't eat the other person's food. That's where I'll rage out.
Yeah.
So I would try all the proteins. What I wouldn't cook with, I don't know. It feels like I just wouldn't gravitate. Maybe there was like a snake, right?
Yeah, there's rattlesnake.
There was rattlesnake. Yeah, I feel like I don't know what that, I mean, I'm not a chef, so I don't know, but I don't know what that's about. So yeah. I'm not gonna cook with a rattlesnake. Isn't there poison in a rattlesnake?
I don't know. Maybe they had to suck the poison out. There's like a scene we didn't see.
Yeah.
Or it's like isn't there like that famous like fish in Japan where you gotta like cut the fish just right or else it'll kill you?
Wow.
Maybe it's like that.
Maybe it's
So
like
that's
that.
why I'd say no snake.
You're not gonna poison me. Yeah,
Not
that's
me.
smart. Yeah, you trick Padma, and she's like, "Damn, I wanted one of you to poison yourself."
I also think that this challenge, the rattlesnake, and this is from the surf, but rattlesnake and eel both had me freaked a little bit, because I remember a couple seasons in the future, Stefan, there's like a challenge with like eel, and they have to skin the eel, and everyone talks about how it's like one of the hardest things they've ever had to do was like skin this eel in a timely manner. And I was like, wow, I didn't even know you skinned eel.
And Stefan does it in like 3 seconds because he's like, I've been doing this since I was 2.
Yeah.
I guess, I mean, I understand mentally how an eel has skin, but I never would have really thought of it that way.
I guess I thought we were just eating that. You know what
I mean? I thought we were just honestly chopping the whole thing up and eating the whole thing.
Right. Absolutely.
Wow. Sorry, the way Alise just said that, it's like I thought of my skin and it's like, wow, it's got like skin, like little hair.
I do like eel though. Eel is tasty.
Yeah. I've never had it.
Oh, it's good.
Okay.
If you're into eating animals.
that's huge. You know, some might say, why do you host this show, Rekha? So, I don't know. Okay, so they got to make this surf and turf entree. I thought this was a cool challenge. I do think it's a little bullshit to like have so many options that are easier to work with. I guess it's like a thing where like, okay, then you better do it fucking perfectly because you got ribeye, you know, or whatever. So maybe it's not that bad, but like it is truly just like luck of the draw. Like Micah didn't even get an advantage for winning the quickfire. She didn't even get to like choose first, did she?
I don't remember that. No.
But whatever. So the dishes they end up making, they kind of split this into 2 halves. In the first half, Joey made seared ribeye, grilled scorpion fish with a Mediterranean salad and potato chips. Sure. Yeah, whatever. Sarah made clams with a sweet corn chowder, buffalo ribeye with black truffle sauce, and buttered carrots. I thought that looked better than what I just said.
It sounds good. I'm not like a sweet corn person, so I know.
Rekha and I are obsessed with corn, and Rekha and I are part of the same like community shared agriculture program where you get corn for like 1 week of the year and you try to get as much as you can. And then Rekha and I send each other pictures of our corn and we go, what are you going to do with your corn? It's like it's like perverted, honestly. It's like gross how Rekha.
Well, it's not that I don't like corn. I don't like a cream sweet corn situation.
Like cornbread.
Okay. But I will, and I would have like a corn on the cob with like some butter on it and like put some spices and stuff, but just cream corn, I don't like the consistency of a creamed corn.
Sure.
Okay. I see. Okay. This sounds, Rekha, you're saying this doesn't sound that good to you when you said it out loud just now, but it sounds great to me. I'm not a big meat eater, but I love a chowder. I love a corn chowder. And then a truffle sauce. As I've said before, very basic when it comes to truffles. I will just drink down truffle oil, even though chefs are like, no, that's tacky, it's bad, it's overpowering. I'm like, yes, and the overpowering flavor is delicious.
Yeah.
I think it looked really good. I think when I just said it, it sounded like 75 different things, but yeah, I'm in. Clay made pan-seared wild boar chop, cornbread dressing, aka like stuffing, with scorpion fish and a fried scorpion fish tail. I would have tried that.
Yeah, it doesn't sound bad.
Yeah.
It doesn't inspire hunger in me particularly. Like it didn't sound like extremely yummy to me, and I don't remember being like wowed by it, but I was intrigued by cornbread dressing. As previously disclosed, we love corn. And so if it has corn in it, I will be eating it. But I think that if I heard cornbread dressing, I wouldn't picture a stuffing. And so I would just be like when I hear the term cornbread dressing, I think of like the batter that you use to make cornbread.
So dressing is like the Southern word for stuffing, right, Jordan?
Yeah. Cornbread dressing, I would say, is typically somewhere between a cornbread and a corn souffle. Is kind of where it lies.
Okay.
But I did not know that until buying Carla Hall's book, because I'm a little Northeastern loser.
Yes, but that's a good thing. So, like, if you go to the South for Thanksgiving and people don't really have stuffing, people have dressing, and then cornbread dressing is even a little different than regular dressing. But that being said, the spoon bread, cornbread dressing from Carla Hall's cookbook is incredible. I made it for the holidays this year and it was delicious. So
okay, well, that actually sounds extremely good. So I was confused about what it was, and now that sounds really good. So
I did a little fried fishtail. That's once again, Clay. Clay gets he gets a bad rap, but I think he's ahead of his time. I think if you look at how many people now are on Top Chef that are from the South and they're doing inventive Southern food, that's such a big thing now that I think was not a thing when this season of 100%. Top Chef came out. I think maybe you had like you had people like, you had like Leah Chase of Dookie Chase and stuff, which is like a very famous restaurant in New Orleans. And like, she was a big deal, but she wasn't thought of as like an Eric Repair. You know, it's like very like racist and elitist and like Eurocentric in general in food. But I think Clay is cooking a style of food that appeals to me and would do better on Top Chef now than it did then.
I agree. He is literally the first like Southern chef or cook that makes Southern food. Because Casey's in this season, Casey is Southern and Trey is Southern.
Yeah, they're not like really doing Southern food.
Yeah, exactly. So Leah makes crusted rack of boar with sesame, chili, and ginger and lentils and a sea urchin panna cotta. I think this sounds good, but there's just too much shit on it.
Yeah, it's just too many different things.
When ginger lentils sounds disgusting to me.
Yeah, that didn't hit me right either.
Yeah, and panna cotta, I don't like the consistency of. Jordan and I were together when I discovered this.
Yes. And a sea urchin panna cotta, that sounds
Isn't sea urchin and uni already like pretty creamy and smooth?
But I'm like, why do you want essentially a flan that tastes like fish? Is like what it feels like.
Yeah, right? That's so nasty. That's so nasty. Nah, dude. Nah.
That's disgusting. Moving on. Casey makes alligator fried steak and braised greens with razor clams. It sounds good. I have not a single conception of what alligator tastes like, but great.
Yeah, I don't eat it actively. I don't really eat meat now, but I really like alligator and razor clams. So
I've never tried alligator, but I would. I tried frog legs and I did not like them.
Really? What did you not like?
You know, I think they were like a little gamey to me. Like I didn't like, and I wasn't expecting that. I don't know what I was expecting, but they didn't hit for me.
Yeah. I think people do a lot of things like frog legs and alligator a disservice because people preface it with it tastes like chicken, and I think in a way it does because it doesn't taste like beef. It's like more of a white meat than a dark meat, and I guess that's what people mean. But then when you're like, oh, this tastes like chicken, and then you try it and it is like gamier and doesn't taste the same, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think it sets you up for a failed expectation a little bit.
Yeah, and I think it's like it's really tough for a food to come back from like you being surprised. Like, like when something doesn't taste the way you want it. I mean, obviously you can be like pleasantly surprised, but if you were expecting a different type of food than you get, it messes your brain up. Like those grapes that taste like other fruits. I don't like that.
Or something.
I don't like that.
I don't like that.
It's weird. Yeah, that is.
Or like an apple that tastes like a grape.
I don't like that.
Science has better stuff to be working on.
Yes.
Yeah. Vaccine distribution.
We need a vaccine, not grapes that taste like other stuff. And
I'm constantly calling UCLA, being like, "Why? Stop working on the fucking grapes." Get
They're like, we're not. We have nothing to do with the grapes.
Okay, so CJ makes ostrich tartare with horseradish, spider crabs with anise and tomato broth. I think the anise really fucked me up in that.
The anise lost me.
Absolutely.
Every one of these dishes, I'm sorry, I haven't had surf and turf. As I'm reading it, it's just so many words. I can't even process and I'm someone who puts a lot of shit into something. But I'm like, ostrich tartare. Okay, so something gamey that's like kind of raw with horseradish. I'm like, ooh, very like intense and bitter and spicy. Spider crabs, I don't have any conception. Anise, I'm like, get the fuck out of here. And tomato broth, I'm like, tomatoes.
It's very funny. That makes a lot of sense. I was like, I gotta talk to Reka after this episode and see if she's okay. Because everything you're reading, you're like,
huh?
Yeah. It makes more sense that you're just like terrified of what you're reading. You're like, there's too many ingredients.
It feels like every word is a typo as I'm looking at it.
I am learning like new animals through this though. What was that? A spider crab?
Yeah.
Didn't know.
That's two things I think are freaky looking in one.
Didn't know. Had no idea those two things collaborated.
Yeah, they're working on a project together. It's going to be really cool.
Didn't even know they knew each other, spiders and crabs.
It's just as scary looking as you would think. I'm going to drop it in the chat so everyone can take a picture of. First of all, spider crabs are the biggest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Wait a minute. Is it bigger than a king crab?
Reka?
Oh my God.
Oh, no.
Wait a minute, Jordan. I might not click it because have you seen that crab? Look up crab on a garbage can. There's some big old fucking crab that crawled up a garbage can.
That's
like
probably
that?
this. I'm in the chat.
No, this is a different type of crab.
You know what I'm talking about, the crab on the garbage can?
I Googled crab on a garbage can and it's a very large crab, but it looks really, really different than the spider crab.
It makes me want to throw up. Mike Trapp would send that to us. And I'm like, this is like oppression or something. It's like, it like makes me want to pee.
No, the spider crab is really big though.
Reka, I think you can look at this. I'm going to drop it in the chat for you. Because I also think
if I have to do this, all the viewers have to do it. Make you and loved ones.
I dropped it in the chat so they can look at it too.
Wait, you just dropped it in our. Okay, hold on. Let me find it.
I did both.
Okay, great.
These are big.
Okay, that honestly, I think this crab on the garbage can is grosser than this.
Yeah,
yeah. The crab on the garbage can is grosser because the crab on the garbage can. There's a lot going on with that crab.
It's so thick, and I'm like, I think I could outrun this thing. I think I could step on this thing if I had to.
Yeah.
And the crab in the garbage can is killing my whole family.
But you know what else? It's that crab on the garbage can doesn't even look like a crab. It looks like something I've never seen before. The Japanese spider crab looks like a crab but more elegant.
Oh,
right.
Shockingly, we've lost a viewer. Okay.
Oh no.
Is it because we said crab on a garbage can like 700 times?
Is it because we're talking about pictures only we can see of crabs?
No, I'm sending all the pictures out. They can all.
Okay, good.
Absolutely. Jordan, I'm not getting any of the things you're sending. I don't think it's actually sending.
Into the
you can't send pictures and you can't send links on I think.
You can't send links?
I don't think so.
This is sick. Okay.
Well. Thank you, Amanda. Crab on a garbage can is very visceral. Yes, you are correct. Crab on a garbage can makes me think of like, how big is that garbage can? Is that garbage can the size of like the White House or something? It's something horrible is going on. And it's like, did it come out of the garbage? Oh my God, it makes me like truly sick.
What does it want from the garbage can? Is it trying to get in there?
Yeah.
Well, if you think about it, it's giving me like big raccoon energy. It looks like it's trying to get into the.
No, Jordan, big raccoon energy would be delightful and buoyant and beautiful.
Okay, Reka, I love raccoons too, so I understand that, but it is trying to get into the garbage can. It's like out in the day. It feels like it is. It feels like it is a raccoon's tether.
This is sick. Okay, we have to. I've completely lost my appetite. Oh my God. I didn't even look at crab in a garbage can. I'm just remembering. Okay.
It makes up for all the disgusting things that you've sent me. So
okay. Jordan literally asked me for more banana today. So Elise,
did not.
you know, I have a disgusting banana at all times in my fridge. Sometimes it's the same banana, and I will frequently show it on the show.
Oh,
if you'd like, I can show it to you. We'll just get through the rest of these dishes.
okay, great. Yeah, and then I would love to see the banana.
Okay, cool, great. So okay, Sandy Birdsong, best named Top Chef contestant of all time.
Incredible.
Yeah,
100%.
Sandy Birdsong. That's a beautiful name.
That's a beautiful name. Makes Cajun frog legs with spider crab, which we now know what that looks like, jambalaya. This sounded good.
I mean, it actually sounds good, even though I don't like frog legs, or I didn't like them the one time. But I'm gonna still. I really like jambalaya and Cajun food in general. So
I think that's a great way to go with like a surf and turf thing.
Yeah, I think that I would try frog legs again
for
that dish and see if maybe it was just that restaurant. Maybe if I'm going into it with more of an understanding of what frog legs are.
I think it's beautiful.
I love.
Okay, Howie makes sea urchin and chanterelle mushroom risotto. Famously, frog legs didn't make it to the plate. I mean, I still think this sounds delicious.
I love a risotto.
I would eat any type of risotto.
Yeah.
So, but it's really too bad those frog legs didn't make it to the plate.
I know, especially for Bourdain. Okay, so then we hop to the second half of contestants that are cooking. A famous moment where Hung is kind of walking around with a knife and almost fucking stabs Casey.
Think now how many returns she wouldn't have been able to do if he had stabbed her.
I remember the first time I watched this season, I thought Hung was like a total beast. And the second time I watched it, I still really liked Hung, but I was like, whoa, I did not remember this energy. Because Hung returns as a judge in future seasons, or as like an assistant in future seasons. And he's pretty calm and mellow. And when I rewatch this, I'm like, oh my God, he is running around.
Like, he's like
he's very manic.
I remember during the quick fire at the beginning, he's like the only one that we see trying to sell. Like he's like really trying to sell the dish. He's like, it's tangy and it's crunchy and it's all the good things.
Yeah. Yeah, truly wild. Okay, so Trey makes roasted ostrich fillet with heirloom tomato risotto and abalone sauce.
Because of the risotto.
Yeah,
You get me with the risotto, but I don't know about abalone sauce.
That sounded gross to me. Okay, Brian Malarkey made something I tried to transcribe. It had no lower hair of Medusa, eyes with fries. I think he meant to say fries with eyes. Little bit of sriracha and lime aioli. Sea eel that was gonna have a miso and a blood orange salad, but I ran short on time. And an electric venom soup with broth and has Asian flair. I have no idea.
What was any of that?
And we have already addressed this thing that keeps happening on this show where people describe a flavor as Asian, and that is not a flavor.
It's so crazy. And also Brian, I think it was really interesting to see this because, listen, I like Brian, and I think Brian and I would have a dang good time if we went out on the town. But watching this, I'm like, Brian, have you learned nothing? Because Brian's been on the show again, and it's like his problem all through this season and when he comes back later is that he puts too many ingredients on a plate, uses too many things, and it's like seeing the like onset of that. I was like, wow,
it's so many things, and he didn't even get all of the things.
He didn't get all the things, and all of the names. He is really being done dirty by editing for not having a lower third on this, because all of the things he named something that it isn't. So like the idea of like a hair of Medusa, I'm like,
what?
Excuse me? Yeah. Do you mean pasta?
Fries with eyes is what? Like,
here's my other thing.
White animal, yeah.
Don't say hair.
Don't say just hair, electric, and venom in any of my food.
I don't need like as soon as I see hair, I'm out.
Okay, a big ball of hair with Asian spices. Gold.
No, but okay, but there's also venom.
Yeah, truly.
Okay,
Venom.
So I can die and not have to eat any more of this meal.
Not eat any more hair.
I am like the electric venom soup made me think of like a black oil slick colored like soup that like burns upon impact, even if it doesn't have spice in it.
Yeah, it has like a Go-Gurt energy to me.
Go-Gurt.
Like electric venom soup.
Oh, slurp derp, and it's like a bunch
It's like, ah! No.
Horrible. Incredible. Okay, so then Camille makes spicy maple crusted abalone fritter, pan-seared kangaroo with an herb sauce and a salad.
I truly could not eat kangaroo if I'm being honest with you. I know that there's no difference between a kangaroo and a cow or whatever. I also don't eat cow, but I couldn't bring myself to eat kangaroo. But I love a fritter.
Yeah,
so
I love a fritter.
Yeah, if I went, I'd have a hard time with kangaroo, but putting that aside.
Yeah.
Yum.
Great.
I'm getting seconds. Sarah made braised black chicken and gooey duck ceviche with cucumber ribbons. For whatever reason, this sounded not so flavorful to me, but I'm sure there's ingredients that weren't listed. Hung made slow cooked black chicken and raw geoduck with fennel and innards sauce. I thought this sounded fine. The innards sauce, I'm sure, is really tasty. It looks like shit.
Yeah.
It looks like pigeon shit.
I'm curious.
Innards sauce is we got to rename that, I think.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of renames.
Yeah, I think, again, innards, not a word I want to be hearing.
Hair, innards.
Hair, innards, venom.
Venom. Yeah. Pop in the chat a word you wouldn't want in a food dish, but like fucking whole, I don't know.
Yeah. Whole soup. I'm just like, no.
Yeah.
No.
Fried kangaroo whole soup. That's not right.
Yeah, drop in the chat if you would have fried kangaroo whole, what you have with it. Okay, Micah made a trio of seared kangaroo on a sweet potato pudding, poached egg in chive oil with monkfish liver, and ostrich carpaccio with monkfish chopped liver. I think it's too many things.
Yeah. I felt like all of and maybe it's like the surf and turf of it all, but all of these dishes, I was like, this is multiple. This feels like, is this family style? Like, what's happening?
Yeah, it feels like it's, like a several course meal. Or just like, I've heard plenty of surf and turf dishes where it like sounds good together. Just none of this shit sounded like it sounds good together. But no. I'm saying someone who hasn't eaten most of this shit before.
Sure.
Okay, then the final dish is Dale makes a mustard seared alligator tail and monkfish liver braised with apple hash.
That sounds really good, actually.
I would try that. Yeah, mustard got me. I like that.
And I love mustard.
Okay, so at the judges table, on top are Hung and Trey. Trey is the winner. On the bottom, Dale, Howie, Clay, and Malarkey. And I will be honest, I went to the bathroom during this. Is this the one where Howie tells Bourdain like, well, Venezuelan line cooks, or not Venezuelan.
Guatemalan line cooks.
Yeah.
I actually recently read Bourdain's book, so I was like, I actually know exactly what he's talking about.
Yes. So I love that because I do think that I think Alon brought it up last time, or when we had him on, that the judges just kind of change the rules. It's a moving target. Like sometimes they'll be like, too much stuff on the plate. And sometimes they'll be like, too simple. And then they'll be like, we hate duos. And then it's like, then just do a duo. I mean, they usually always hate duos. But like, they kind of always change what they mean. And so sometimes they'll be like, well, if it wasn't good enough, it wasn't ready, you don't put it on the plate or whatever. So I like that he called him out. I think that's nice.
I just love Anthony Bourdain. And I'm like I loved like all of his shows. And then I read his book last year just for fun. And I always love a Bourdain appearance.
Yeah. I was not, to be honest, when I first watched Top Chef, I was not a big Bourdain fan. I felt like he was like trying to come up with like a sassy thing to say, but then I was like, oh no, he's just got like a personality about him. He knows what he's doing. I think the introduction of Toby Young in season 8 made me realize, oh no, this is what like a shitty, pithy, trying to be funny judge looks like. Got it.
Yeah, Bourdain is like, I mean, I think his is authentic. I think he's an authentic, like sleazy chef guy, which I love.
Been around, yes. Trey is the winner and Clay is eliminated, sadly.
Yeah, I think it felt sad. Clay was a little green, but like I said, I think he could have done some cool stuff. I don't know. I hope he's doing okay. I do think about him from time to time, honestly. I don't know.
I Googled him. I couldn't, he hasn't opened any restaurants to my knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a bit of a tragic figure, I felt, for the one episode that he was in, definitely.
I think I guess from an editing standpoint, I think it's really sad to leave in the bit where he talks about his dad if you are going to eliminate him in this episode.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's, if you leave it in and pay homage and respect to it, or if you, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it, but it was super sad.
Yeah.
I just felt bad for Clay because I felt like he came in and he was like, I'm the guy who didn't go to culinary school. And then they were like, you didn't go to culinary school, and kicked him out.
Like you're an underdog. Goodbye. Yeah.
Bye, idiot.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I don't know. I mean,
really.
Okay. Yeah. He served his amuse-bouche in an apple. Who hasn't?
Who among us hasn't done that? Who among us?
The amuse was too big. He served it in an apple. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, he's a sweet boy. I hope he's doing okay.
Yeah, I do
Alise,
too.
we always ask people on this show, if you were in this challenge, you had to do a surf and turf challenge, what would you have done? And whatever you say that you would have done, we put that on our Instagram directly up against the dish that won, and viewers vote on which they'd rather eat.
Okay. I would have done an alligator tail, covered in Asian spices. Absolutely covered. Drenched in Asian spices. Medusa's hair.
Yes, I love that.
And then an electric eel bowl, eel bowl soup.
Yeah.
Venom soup. Electric eel bowl venom soup.
Yes.
And frog legs. Sorry, and then frog legs.
Yeah, and they dip the frog legs in the whole.
Yeah. And then we dip the frog legs in an abalone sauce.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely mortifying.
Was that enough? Was that enough items
that was
for
the? That was about just as many items as everyone else used, Alise. So that's perfect.
Exactly. Well, Alise, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, this was a delight.
One more thing. You are Top Chef. It's you.
So I get the vineyard?
You run the vineyard, and you get a little stand at Food and Wine in Aspen. You get $100,000 from fucking hefty Force Flex scented bags.
Well, this is changing everything for me. I'm thrilled.
And you get your own little recipe in Food and Wine magazine and the title of Top Chef, whatever the list of prizes that they always list. That's what you get.
Well, I'm honored.
Well, thank you so much for doing the show.
This is so much fun, you guys. I had the best time.
We are so thrilled to have had you. And again, guys, Jordan's Venmo is open. I think I forgot to drop that handle at the beginning, but it's in the chat. It's also in the description. If you want to donate to the Hollywood Food Coalition or charity for this season, Venmo at JORDANMYR1CK. And if you want to just do the donation on your own, that's totally fine too. You can go to the Hollywood Food Coalition's website and do that on your own. Whatever you want.
Yeah, and we'll be taking donations all season, so feel free to Venmo me at any time and just put Hollywood Food Coalition or something of the sort in the description of it. If you have questions about volunteering, if you're LA based, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram or Twitter or whatever. My handle is all the same across all platforms. Make sure you go follow our guest Alise Morales across all platforms. Follow Reka, follow me, follow Talk Chef, and we'll see you next week.